We played this yesterday. We had some fun at the expense of Mark Dondero. He's a sports anchor reporter, WPRI, Channel 12 in Providence. Now, let's play this again. Then we'll bring in Mark, who's kind enough to join us and have some fun with this. And I tell people in this business, there's no more humbling situation than when you're in a press conference and you ask a question and all of a sudden that coach decides that he does not want to play. Here you go.
Coach, the game is played predominantly in the teens. Is that a style that you're comfortable playing?
What are you talking about?
Well, not scoring a lot of points, not high-flying offense necessarily, more low-scoring, grind it out. Is that a style you like, that the team prefers?
Well, we prefer to win.
Mark Dondero joins us now. Mark, how did you feel after the first question got rejected, Matumbo'd right back in your face?
Hey, Dan, thanks very much for having me. Well, I was disappointed because I had it scripted perfectly, and I thought I executed it perfectly in my head. Then when he threw it back at me, I had to kind of reword things. I didn't want to use the word prefer. It just sort of came out and body slammed big time.
And then you decided to follow back up to clarify, and then all of a sudden you're in no man's land. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, I had to. I mean, I tried to find a different way to word the question. I thought the way I asked it the first time would be understood. So he got me. He kind of maneuvered me into a corner to ask it the way he wanted it answered, and then I gave him an out. So I paid the price.
Have you asked questions before to Belichick?
I have asked Bill probably 100 questions. And what really, I don't want to say bothered me, but kind of just befuddled me, I've asked him, I think, more explosive questions, more, not controversial, but questions I thought may elicit that type of response in the past that didn't. He either enjoyed or answered, and it was fine. That time I'm thinking I'm asking some question about the defense and playing a grinded-out style game, nothing inflammatory, and I get crushed. I was surprised. But those things happen.
What did the rest of the media, did anybody say anything to you afterwards?
It was just kind of, I was getting more looks and I was, I hope you can pick yourself up after that. That was a situation that nobody that I can say that's in that room on a regular basis ever wants to be in. It does happen sometimes. I got crushed on Twitter pretty hard.
Yeah, you asked the question, you hung in there. The part of the problem, and I say this to people who want to do this for a living, ask an open-ended question. And, so I think you got caught with a closed-ended question that you give him an out where he can give you a one-word answer. And I always want to get Belichick to talk. He's never been on this show, and I know how difficult that is. He either respects you or he doesn't. He'll either engage or he won't. But I think asking an open-ended question just to get him to talk about his offense or his defense is probably the best way to go about him. But, man, I don't envy anybody who goes in into that press conference with him because it's intimidating. And and
if I could just add this, Dan, since I've gotten to Providence, my philosophy and strategy has been, and I don't need to tell you this, obviously, but when you're asking questions and interviewing somebody, it's about the person being interviewed. It's about the answer that they give. Well, I learned quickly that he's not going to give a lot of answers. You know how he is.
Yeah.
So I decided for the sake of a story and making good TV, because I'm a reporter, TV reporter, it had to become about the question. So I focus with Belichick, what do I say in the question? And almost make the question what's the entertaining part, and then whatever he answers with, he answers with. I think I've done all right doing that for the sake of my stories that I have to do every Wednesday when I go. That's my philosophy. He's not going to answer it. All right, well, we'll use certain words and certain phrasing and make it about the question. That's how I do it.
He's Mark Dondero. He's a sports anchor reporter, WPRI, Channel 12 in Providence. All right, I'm going to give you the first question for Wednesday's press conference with Bill Belichick. What are you asking?
The first question will be, why did you decide to trade Jimmy Garrapolo? The answer will be, we did what was best for the football team. And we'll get that answer, I'm assuming, all day long. One question I might ask or wouldn't mind knowing, I don't know if he'd go there, there's a million questions. Does Tom Brady's commitment to health and the book and all the nutritional things, did that play a role in this? I mean, this is a 40-year-old quarterback that he seems to be committing to long-term. To me, this goes against everything that he has done in the past, I can't think of it. And, you know, this is the guy who everybody thought was the future at the position. I'm stunned that this happened. I'm stunned that they traded him. You guys were talking about timing and what they got back. I'm just stunned that he got traded.
Well, I think they got backed into a corner. They lost leverage. You got Donnie, who represents Brady, and Garoppolo. I think they realized the defense wasn't as good as it was going to be. And if you're going to go to – they're not winning the Super Bowl with Tom Brady this year, in my opinion. Now you have to have some help on that defensive line, and I think they used that second-round pick today and try to get some help today. They need help now. This is a team that was built to win now, back-to-back Super Bowls. What do you think they do?
I'm with you. Here's what I think that they should have done before. I think they should have traded him before because you have Tom Brady now. We didn't know what this season was going to become. The defense hasn't been nearly as good as people thought. What I would have done is traded Jimmy Garapolo, tried to get as much as you can for him to help Tom Brady, to ride with Tom Brady, even though he doesn't have a lot of time left, because I just think you know what you have. Brady can win Super Bowls. He's proven that. Jimmy G, maybe he's a great quarterback, a Pro Bowl quarterback, but if he's Phillip Rivers or Tony Romo, who are great quarterbacks, you know, down the road, if they can't get you to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, it's nice to be good and in contention. But I would personally rather win Super Bowls now with Tom Brady because we know he can, help him as much as possible, and then later we'll figure it out. That's what I would have done. I'm glad they committed one way or another. Second-round pick, you know, Sam Bradford, he went for a first-round pick. I think he's an average quarterback, an injury-prone quarterback, so you could look at that and say, I don't know about the second-round pick. I would win now with Brady.
Keep fighting the good fight, Mark.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dan. I appreciate it.
All right, Mark Dondero, the sports anchor reporter, WPRI Channel 12 in Providence.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.